Of FBI raids in 3 Midwestern states.
Agents have charged 9 members of a group based in Michigan, a militia group, with a plot to kill police officers in this country. 8 suspects have been arrested. The 9th is a 21-year-old named Joshua Stone, still on the loose at this hour. 7 of these suspects appeared in court this morning. The FBI captured 2 members in Ohio and Indiana, the rest in Michigan.
The anti-government group is calling itself the Huttery and is based in Michigan's Lenawee County. Now, Jeff Lanza is a former FBI special agent, and he joins us now from Kansas City, Missouri. What do you make of this?
Well, this is a very alarming case. There's only really 2 reasons why a case like this comes to fruition. They're usually very long-term investigations. And one reason would be the investigation is complete and they've got enough evidence to charge several people, which result in arrests. The second reason is they may get to a point where the investigation is partially complete, but there's a danger to citizens. And it appears from reading the indictment that they were at that point. Maybe the investigation was still ongoing, but they needed to make these arrests because there was a danger to some citizens in the area.
Yeah. After the April 1995 bombing of the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, several books came out warning about militias. And one expert at the time said, militias, and this is a quote, are a ticking time bomb composed of paranoid lunatics. A lot of the predictions did not come true back then, but here we are now in this event. How prevalent are these militias? How dangerous are they?
Well, people tend to think of our risk of terrorism come from some far-off land and where terrorist groups are located and headquartered. But they don't realize that we have very dangerous terrorist groups inside the United States. And we saw that, of course, in 1995, we saw an individual and a group of people involved in the Oklahoma City bombing. But what we're seeing here is very alarming because you have, and if the allegations are true in this case, you have a targeted attempt to kill law enforcement officers, and that they were going to use the funeral of these law enforcement officers as an ambush to kill more law enforcement officers. And with these type of cases, you always look and try to read between the lines and see, is it the type of thing where they were just talking and then the FBI got involved in an undercover capacity and tried to give them, in order to catch them in the act, gave them the means by which they could commit the act. In this particular case, however, it looks like they were ready to take action and they had developed the means by which they were going to do so.
Right. I mean, look, you spent many, many years with the FBI.
Right.
How much time and effort does the FBI expend in tracking these militia groups?
Well, counterterrorism is the FBI's #1 priority. And again, people think of counterterrorism as Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups that have their bases in foreign countries, but they don't know that there's several militia groups inside the United States. Not all are terrorist organizations, but some that do espouse that. Some espouse overthrowing the government.
What's
and
their
some
beef?
Talk about... Well, where do we begin? I mean, the list is long. I mean, they're generally anti-government. They don't like what's happening. They don't like the laws that are restricting them. They don't think they have enough freedom, and they think that law enforcement, in many cases, and government officials are the root cause of this.
Are they, as the quote suggests, paranoid lunatics?
Well, there's a certain level of out of the realm of ordinary with these individuals. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
that there's some paranoia. And it ranges from from fairly somewhat normal people that get sucked into these groups to people that are just outright nuts.
Mm-hmm. And is there a particular region of the country where they exist more than others?
Well, the Midwest has been, generally speaking, has been a region where you see a lot of militia groups and a lot of groups that do espouse these type of things we're talking about. But all over the country, there's some in the northeast portion of the country. There's some in the far west portion of the United States, in the northwestern portion. They're all over the place, and people generally don't notice until you see events like this happening.
All right, and we do have a tip line, by the way.